Hey, if you want to learn how to use AI to nail your sales conversations in DMs, in emails, in text messages, and you want to know that you are magnetic, not repelling your future prospects, you are not going to want to miss this episode of the Spiral Up Podcast. Welcome to the Spiral Up Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Wieme, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up. Hey friend, welcome back to the Spiral Up Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Wieme, and today we are going to tackle AI, but we're going to take AI to like 2.0 AI right now. So I just got invited to speak on this amazing AI summit. And one of the things that I was asked to do was tell them how you can use AI to really create magnetic marketing. Now, here's the deal. I can say that as a buzzword, but what I'm going to do today in this conversation is bring some science into it to tell you exactly what makes your content magnetic or repelling your ideal client and what you can do about it. Because as a mindset and a business strategist, I really want to make sure that my clients are not getting in their own way. And I want to make sure that they're able to work smarter, not harder, so that they can allow for what they do to become more efficient and more effective and essentially create amazing business, 5-figure business with more ease and flow and joy instead of hustling for the sake of hustling, right? And what I find a lot of people that come to me struggling with this, they're like, Lachelle, either I don't know what the heck to post, I don't know what the heck to put in my emails, I don't know how to respond in DMs. And so they either don't because they overthink it and they let their analysis paralysis kick in, or they allow perfectionism and overthinking to take 8 days to send a DM and respond back, and now they're feeling guilty because it took so long, and now they have this whole weird game of you know guilt and shame that's drawn into it. And or they're doing everything and they're trying to just keep up with everything. Like, there's so many things that I see with clients, and AI has been an amazing tool because it can help us to essentially write the content that we need so desperately and do it so fast and so effectively that, like, gosh, why are we not using this? So one of the things that I do with my clients is I teach them how to use AI, ChatGPT specifically, that's my favorite, in order to really start nailing the copywriting. But here's the deal. It's way more than that. You cannot just allow ChatGPT to write your content and then expect it to be perfect, and you can just like wash your hands of it and expect that you have all these clients flooding into your bank account, right? What I want you to understand is that we do need to prompt AI to work really well. I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a second. But it's the intangibles that I really want to focus on today, because it's who you're being while you're doing this stuff that's going to be as effective as the words you're using. Okay. So let's start with AI first in general, because I want to just tee you up with some really basic tips that you can start using today that are going to help you to at least elevate the quality of the content that you're producing. All right. So again, I don't care if you're using it to write emails or DMs or text messages, emails, podcasts, scripts, like any of that stuff. Like, all of those things can be landing pages for your website. Like, everything can be utilized this way. The first thing I want to make sure that you understand is that you have to infuse your brand voice. And I have worksheets that I have my clients do to really capture their brand voice that we essentially insert into the GPT, so that it's always using that as the background of everything that's producing. I also want to make sure that you are really nailing down who your ideal client is, because when you're speaking to everyone, you speak to no one. I literally encounter this on the daily with people that I speak to in business. They're like, I just love helping everybody. Let me tell you this. This is my little truth of the hug. You are speaking to no one when you try to speak to everyone. And I want you to get really specific and get really clear on who your delicious clients are. Who do you love working with? What do they do? What do they need? What's keeping them up at night? What are they Googling secretly? what kind of conversations they're having with their business bestie. I want you to understand your ideal client so well that what you're doing inside of ChatGPT to create content is going to speak to their heart, it's going to speak to their soul, it's going to speak to their minds. But you cannot do that unless you understand it first. And so you have to make sure that you are really nailing down your ideal client so that everything that you're asking ChatGPT to produce is doing so with target focus so that you are literally just connecting to the most amazing, delicious people. And this is a whole nother conversation for another day, but I have to tell you that I had clients that were afraid of niching down because of scarcity. They were afraid they were going to miss out on sales. They were afraid they were going to miss out on helping people. They were afraid, blah, blah, blah. We do not make decisions out of fear. We make them out of love. And so when you love to serve a specific clientele so much, and I'm going to ask you, would 100 clients in that clientele base change your business? And if you say yes, you have to trust that there are 100 people in that exact demographic that are out there that are praying for you right now. Okay. So let's get rid of the stinking thinking, the scarcity, and allow ourselves to give ourselves permission to really give ourselves the chance to serve one kind of client. And that doesn't mean, friends, that you're going to not serve other people, because those people will still come to you, but your messaging is going to be clear. That's the difference. Okay. It's not like you're going to say, oh, I don't serve you anymore. It's not like those people are going to still come to you, but you're going to be really clear and specific. So you're going to have your brand voice nailed down. You're going to have your ideal client nailed down. And you're going to prompt your chat GPT a lot so that it understands how you think, how you speak, the mission you have around your business, like all those things that are going to be infused in your messaging. Okay. So those are like basic 101 things that you have to do to utilize ChatGPT to help you with your copywriting and, the things that you're wanting to do via words, written words that are going to interact with clients, both future and current. Okay. Now, I want to move this conversation though into what's going to take this to the next level, to 2.0. And we're going to talk about the intangibles. You see, this is oftentimes where people have a hard time explaining because you can't quite put your finger on it. Have you ever received a DM and it just feels really desperate? Like it feels really salesy. Like they're just like, that they copied and pasted it and send it to like 100 people, right? And it just feels icky and you're like, no thanks, delete, right? Ugh, you don't want that. Sometimes it's literally the same words that you receive from one person that you receive from another. And for whatever reason, something in this other message just felt more inviting. It sparks some more curiosity. You're like, I'm curious. You go on their profile and you look them up a little bit more or whatever, because there's something about their message that made it feel magnetic in a way that you were interested in learning more versus like, oh, no way, delete, block. I don't want anything to do with you. And it could be the exact same words. Have you ever experienced that before? Because here's the thing, words are neutral. So when I used to teach for the Doctor of Nurse Anesthesia program, I actually would teach feedback and I would use improv comedy to help people understand the power of our words and the meaning and the feelings that we put behind them. Okay. So give you an example. If I were to say to you, I have these widgets, I really like them, I would like you to know more about them. Okay. Those words are neutral. They just are. Okay. Now, if I were to infuse those same words with desperate energy, scarcity, not lack of confidence, the same words, but they land differently. Let me explain to you that, like, hey, I have this widget and I really like it, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. Like that is a different energy, practically the same script. I don't have it written down, so it's from memory, but you see the difference, right? Versus if I came in as confident and believing everything I was saying and allowing that energy to be magnetic, you're going to feel it. Okay. So if I said, oh my gosh, I have this widget, I absolutely love it, I would love for you to know more about it. Totally different energy, isn't it? Same words. You see, it's not just what we do, it's who we are while we do it. Now, let me tell you that there is some geeky, cool science behind that. And I'm going to explain it to you in just a second. Okay. So here's the cool thing. Whether it is written word, whether it is having a conversation with somebody over the phone or in person or over Zoom, it doesn't matter. When we are interacting with another human being, another living person, we are interacting with their energy field, whether we say anything or not. All right. So just like a cell phone sends and receives information all day long through Wi-Fi, through Bluetooth, through cellular data, so does my biofield. In fact, my heart and my brain are producing energy by beating and my neurons firing back and forth. And that energy that they produce create this electromagnetic field around my body. And that electromagnetic field is actually doing the same thing as my cell phone is. It's giving and receiving information constantly, invisibly, all day long. Now, the really cool thing about entanglement in quantum physics is that it does not matter if you are next to a person or if they are across the world. This is what Albert Einstein called spooky science from a distance, that your biofield, just like I can FaceTime my mom, even though she's several hours away through these invisible communication, the same thing happens when you are interacting with somebody across the world. It does not matter if you are talking to them in person. It doesn't matter if you are on the phone with them. It doesn't matter if you're FaceTiming. It doesn't matter if they are receiving an email that you sent. The same principles exist. There's entanglement that's happening between their biofield and yours. Okay. Now, when you are experiencing scarcity and lack of confidence and just you're feeling off, your biofield is also going to come across as very staticky and non-coherent. And the other person is actually picking up on that. They're picking up on this static, this unstable energy, because our brains are wired for safety. So their brain, whether they even realize it or not, subconsciously or consciously, within less than 1/10 of a second, the mirror neurons that are placed in their emotional center of their brain are actually scanning the world and you for safety. And if your biofield is not smooth and coherent, if it's full of that static, their mirror neurons in their brain in less than 1/10 of a second is picking up on, something's not right here. Something's off. I don't trust this. This isn't safe. And they're going to shut down. They're going to reject it. Versus if your biofield is coming across as really strong and coherent, their brain says, okay, this person's safe. Now I'm interested in learning more. All right. Now, how is it though that we can create that difference between that stable, smooth biofield and the one that's non-coherent and staticky? This is where a lot of the mindset work comes in, but I'm going to teach you how to use ChatGPT to overcome some of this also so that you can take your AI to 2.0 version. The thing is that what we want to acknowledge is that our heart and our brain have to communicate with each other and they have to get on the same page. All right. So, what do I mean by that? Scientists have actually discovered that we have over 40,000 brain cells in our heart muscle. They call it the heart brain. What they've also discovered is that more information is actually shared from our heart to our brain than there is from our brain to our heart. We think that I think thoughts that make me feel a certain way, and that's definitely true. But it's more true that you feel something and it creates inside of your brain a clarity, a more decisive thinking, more creative thinking, because this part of my heart area is solid and it's secure and it feels good and it's full of energy that expresses love and joy and peace and gratitude. And that communicates to my brain and it creates these nice, solid, clear messages that allow my brain to work better. Okay. Now, what I mean when I talk about how they have to match is that so oftentimes we're taught that we have to fake it till we make it, right? And that's where people can really miss the mark here because you try to be somebody that you're not and you don't believe in what you're saying, whether you realize it or not, the recipient's biofield is picking up and their mirror neurons are picking up in your biofield and it's saying something's not right here, like something is off. Those mirror neurons can pick up on biofield, they pick up on micro expressions, they pick up on posture, they pick up on tone. But the most important sales tool that you have is your biofield. All right. So instead, if I can believe in what I say, instead, if I can, like, oh my gosh, like I believe these widgets are like the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I cannot wait to help more people understand this, then I'm going to come across as that safe, stable, energy source that their brain is going to pick up on. But if I'm saying these widgets are amazing, but inside I'm like, but they're so expensive and nobody really wants them. And I don't even know why I'm doing this. And I just need to pay the bills and all this stuff. And all of that energy is leaking out through my subconscious and my heart biofield. It's going to create this static, this mismatch between my heart and my head. And the other person is going to pick up on that. And so that's what I help my clients do is figure out how they can kind of fix their stinking thinking, right? And allow those subconscious blocks to be healed so that they can essentially have a heart and a brain that match and is solid and stable and full of confidence. But we also, friends, can use something like a ChatGPT filter that I'm going to show you and teach you here in a second that can help you to at least check yourself before you wreck yourself, before you're sending out those messages or posting that content. Because if it's screaming scarcity and screaming salesy and screaming desperation, other people are going to pick up on that, which is why you're not getting the success that you want to. Okay. So, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to, before you send something, so before you send that text or that DM message or you post or you send the email, what I want you to do is to run it through your chat GPT and ask it to check you before you wreck you. All right. So how do you do that? You can use this prompt that essentially has it act like an intuitive copy editor, frequency coach, and subconscious messaging expert. And what it's going to do then when it's playing that role is it's going to be able to audit the energy of your content. It's going to be able to highlight things that are demonstrating a high vibe frequency. And it's going to be able to flag the things that are in low frequency, like lack of confidence, desperation, that kind of stuff. And then it can rewrite your content so that it's magnetic and it allows you to really come across in a way that demonstrates a more stable, confident, coherence based messaging. Okay. Now, I just want to give you some examples, or an example, I guess, of one content piece that might give you a feeling of what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's just pretend like you are going to DM somebody that is somebody that you would love to work with. Okay, so what this is first example is going to do, it's going to be a very low frequency, desperate, proving energy. Okay, so here's an example. Hey, I saw that you're a coach too. I'd love to connect and hear more about what you do. I also have a program I think you'd love. Let me know if you're interested. So, what it feels like when I read that is that it feels a little pushy. It feels slightly needy. Like I didn't ask for their help. They just like told me what they did. And it was almost like they were trying to prove their value or get approval. And there was no clear confidence or leadership vibe. It just felt like something that they probably copied and pasted. And it just would give me like an icky, like, no thanks kind of vibe. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an example of a high frequency post or content that I would DM that would be grounded in confident energy. Okay. So here's an example. Hey, love, your recent posts caught my eye, and I can tell that you're doing some powerful work. If you ever want to connect or collaborate, I'm all in for line conversations. No pressure, just resonance. Notice how that one felt more magnetic, more calm, confident, and I honestly didn't feel like there was any pressure or pushing around it, and it felt like leader energy. And so I wanted to give you an example of what that could feel like, what that could look like. And so what you're going to want to do is run your proposed landing page copy, your email copy, your social media post, your DM conversations through this high filter in ChatGPT and ask it to audit it, and ask it to play the role, ask it to audit it, ask it to pick out the high vibe so that you can start to pick up on what's resonating and then be able to flag the low vibe and then rewrite it so it's magnetic. Because again, I want you guys to understand that you can use AI to work smarter, not harder, that it can create amazing copy based on your brand voice and your ideal client and all those things. But now I'm taking this another layer of creating content that is going to be more likely to be effective. I want you to have content that is going to land more often, right? And that's what this can do. Now, I am going to be sharing in the show notes a really great guide that I've created for you that not only helps you to have a checklist so that you can check your energy before you have these conversations and sales, but it's going to give you a couple additional examples of low vibe versus high vibe content. And it's going to give you the exact filter that you can copy and paste into your chat GPT to have it play the role that you want it to edit your content and to rewrite it so that it's magnetic. And then if you really want to get fancy, you can do what I do and have it built into a GPT so that it runs that filter as it's creating your copy so that you know that it's already high vibe as it's producing the content. Okay. Now, make sure that you go ahead and head on over into the show notes to get that free guide, because honestly, like, this is one of my favorite gifts that I give to people. It really does help you to embody the frequency that you want using the law of assumption and the highest vibe that you possibly can. All right. Now, one thing I want to say though, before we kind of wrap this up, is I want you to recognize that this is not our way to manipulate somebody else, because that's really not possible. Here's the deal. Like, sales can kind of feel like you're trying to sway somebody one way or another, but at the end of the day, you can only control yourself. You can influence other people, but you cannot control anyone else. And so when I know that I've shown up doing everything that I can do, I have fed my chat GPT with all of the prompts that it needs to know me really well and know my ideal client really well, know my brand voice really well. I've worked with it enough that I feel like it really does reflect me and my values and what I want to accomplish. And I'm running it through this high vibe filter. I know that I am doing everything I can do when I am creating that email, when I'm sending that DM, whatever the case may be, right? Like, I know that I have controlled everything that I can control to the best of my ability. But I have to remember that on the other end, that person receiving, if they have unhealed, trauma, if they have lots of stinking thinking, limiting beliefs, if they have, an aversion to something, you can't control that. And so they're still going to see it through their filter, their life filter, and it might not resonate with them because the timing isn't right or they have their own healing to do. And so I want you to understand that this is not going to be an excuse for you to say, well, gosh, I suck. Like, none of this is working and I must not be cut out for this, because that's not true. What I want you to recognize is that other people have their own crap going on and that you get to show up in this space. You get to show up, whether it be in person, whether it be over a Zoom, whether it be you sending a message to somebody. You get to show up in this place of love and confidence and magnetic energy, knowing that you're doing everything that you can do to possibly help the other person. And then you release the outcome to them. And that's where manifestation is really going to happen, because you are releasing, you're not forcing, you're not trying to dictate or manipulate. You're doing the best that you can with the highest vibe and intention that you can. And then you're releasing it with love and care to God in the universe to take care of it for you. And I want you to remember that. All right. So head on over to the show notes. Make sure that you grab this success shift filter and all of the other cool things. There's a bunch of other things in there that I have that I give you guys access to, and including my own GPT that I've created that is going to help you to write copy that is infused with buyer psychology, as well as my high vibe filter and all the things. So you have all of the reasons that you need to, and the tools that you need to be successful. Like, that's what I want for you. Like, we have a major impact to make, you guys, and I can't wait to just walk alongside of you in this little tiny space that we're in. Okay. So, all right. I hope that this helped you. I can't wait to hear, what you've experienced during this process, and just know that I'm rooting for you always. All right. I'll see you next time. So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to iam-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.